Yo, what's up, Headliner Nation? Kyle back with the Fantasy Headliners, and the NFL Draft is almost here. That's right, in just a few short weeks, we can put all the what ifs, we can put all of the mock drafts, we can put all of the questions to rest. We are going to know exactly where guys are going and what their value will be for 2021 and beyond. But hey, the NFL Draft, this is a fun time to talk out scenarios. And I think that there is going to be a ton of action still before the end of the first round is over. Whether or not there are some trades that come in the next couple of weeks, or whether they come during the night of the first round, I think we're going to see some teams moving to go get their guy, which is great because in this video, I've got several trades that I want to see happen for the NFL Draft. Now, one of them already did happen. I was going to talk about Sam Darnold being traded. He's already on the way to Carolina. So I had to throw that one out the door. I added a different one instead. But we're going to talk about some trades that I want to see happen between now and the end of the first round. But don't forget, we've expanded this year. If you love college football, talking draft prospects, if you want to know more in-depth information about some of these guys, make sure you head over to our new channel, Headliner U, where we go deep into college football 101 and teach you about the next generation of talent coming in to the league. Make sure you go subscribe over there. And hey, we're giving away a signed Najee Harris football right now too, so don't miss out on that. When this video is over, go subscribe to Headliner U so you can check all that out. But ladies and gentlemen, we have got some trades to talk through. And my first trade is, well, it's a couple of different teams because I think they're going to be fighting over the same player possibly. It is the Chicago Bears and the New England Patriots. I would like to see either of these teams trade up for Mac Jones. Now listen, I know a lot of people are saying Mac Jones is going to go number 3 overall to San Francisco. I'm still not buying it 100%. And I've got nothing against Mac Jones. If I didn't like Mac Jones, why would I be saying that I want to see a couple of teams that need a franchise quarterback trade up? So I've got nothing against Mac Jones. But let's just play, for those of you out there that are going to comment and say, no, Mac Jones is going 3rd overall. So for those of you that are saying that still anyway, then let's take a step back here. Even if Mac Jones does go number 3 overall, then my hope is still that somebody's willing to trade up to get themselves either Justin Fields or Trey Lance. So regardless of if it happens or not, Chicago and New England both need to be making moves if that happens. Now, the reason that I have Mac Jones here is because I still feel like he's not going to go number 3 overall. And if he doesn't, I think he is the one QB that has the biggest chance of sliding if he doesn't go 3rd overall. So for me, for Chicago and New England, I want to see both of these teams try to make a run for a quarterback. Okay, for Chicago, you've got a couple of weapons there that I want to see continue to be successful. Allen Robinson and David Montgomery. You've also got Cole Kmet, who I would like to see take a step forward. All right? These are guys that need a franchise quarterback. Andy Dalton's, coming in on a 1-year deal. That's fine, but you got to get your guy, Chicago. All right? I mean, do we really want to keep talking about you skipping over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes for years and years to come? No. Right the situation. Go get yourself a franchise quarterback. Make the move necessary. If you got to do it in this draft, then do it. For the New England Patriots, they've spent a lot of time really missing out. I mean, they had Jacoby Brissett. They traded him away. They had Jimmy Garoppolo. They traded him away. Now, maybe both of these guys wouldn't have been starting caliber quarterbacks in New England if given the appropriate amount of time, but they moved on from both of those guys, and they brought in Cam Newton again for a second year, but Cam Newton's not the answer there either. Listen, New England, I don't want to say the one reason, but one of the reasons that you have had the success that you've had is because you had a guy at quarterback for so many years that you could rely on to do the job and do the job well. All right. We saw it this past year. I mean, Tom Brady leaves and he goes to Tampa Bay. He puts in the work and they go to a Super Bowl and then they win. Taking nothing against Bill Belichick, I still think he's a good NFL coach. I mean, I'm not saying that Brady can't win without Bill or Bill can't win without Brady or they both can win without. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying you were successful when you had a guy at quarterback that was relied on every single year. You have got to get that back and it could be Mac Jones if he falls. And you know what? If Mac Jones doesn't end up falling, if he does go 3, then both of you, Chicago, New England, need to be making a deal to get either Fields or get Trey Lance and take advantage of that. Next trade that I want to see, I've already mentioned his name here a little bit, Trey Lance. Bring him up again. I don't have any issues with Drew Lock. I think Drew Lock could be a fine NFL quarterback. Yes, last year was difficult. It was difficult to watch. He looked awful at times, threw way too many interceptions. Let's give him another year in which, A, we don't have this shortened offseason. We get preseason games. We get a full workout, everything like that. Okay, let's get Cortland Sutton back. Second year, Jerry Jeudy. Hopefully he takes care of some of those issues in year 1 that limited his upside. You've got Noah Fant. Melvin Gordon is still there. You've got KJ Hamler. Let's get a guy in there, personally, that I feel has a lot higher upside than what Drew Lock has. Again, nothing against Drew Lock, but Trey Lance, this dude has just an absolute crazy ceiling. He might have, I fully believe that him and Justin Fields have the highest ceiling of this quarterback class. Trevor Lawrence is the safest. Zach Wilson has the lowest floor, and his ceiling is right below Lance and Fields. And Mac Jones, I don't really think he has that high of a ceiling. But Trey Lance has one of the highest ceilings. This guy's got a strong arm. He can throw the ball down the field. He throws the ball well. If you take a look at his stats while he was in college, yeah, you can say whatever you want to about playing against lower competition, but the dude took care of the football. He makes the right reads. He's mobile. He can step up in the pocket. He can get out of the pocket. He can run a little bit. He can do everything. I want to see Trey Lance in Denver with those weapons, because that offense would be an absolute beast for the next several years. And when you play in a division that has Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and CEH and Travis Kelce, you're going to need to put up points. Denver, make it happen. Get Trey Lance and watch your offense ball out for the next several years while you can compete with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. The Los Angeles Chargers, they moved on from their tight end. Let's go get another one. Big fan of Hunter Henry, but he's out the door. He's gone. I want to see Kyle Pitts land in Los Angeles. Now, about a week or so ago, I did a video on Kyle Pitts because I've got everybody coming into my mentions telling me about how Kyle Pitts is the tight end 1 in Dynasty, and he's the guy that is going to be the best tight end. I don't necessarily disagree with any of you. I like Kyle Pitts. He's my tight end 1 by far. Okay? Somebody in the comments the other day in my mock draft, well, this guy must not have watched Kyle Pitts' pro day. Why would I have to watch Kyle Pitts' pro day? There is absolutely nothing about Pitts' pro day that changed what we've known for a while now. So I don't care about any of that. This guy is a freak athlete. This guy is going to make a difference in the NFL. But he plays a position that is truly difficult to transition to in the NFL. Kyle Pitts is not a blocker. He's not going to be that guy. Is he going to have to throw some blocks? Yes, but he is going to be used as a receiving weapon. He is not a wide receiver. Yes, he is good for a tight end, but he does not have the feet to be a wide receiver out on the edges with with cornerback ones. He has everything that you need to be a dominant force at the tight end position. So because of these things, I think his best fit is in Los Angeles. Put him there at tight end. You've got Keenan Allen there. You've got Mike Williams still. You put him at tight end. You've got Austin Eckler. Kyle Pitts is going to be the number 2 receiving option on that team right away. He's got a young quarterback in Justin Herbert to work with. He can be that number 2. He doesn't have to come in and be the number 1 target for anybody. That's why I want to see him end up here. I don't want to see him end up and get buried in Atlanta, because you go to Atlanta, you still got Julio Jones and you still got Calvin Ridley in front of you. You've got Hayden Hurst, so you're going to play some 2 tight end sets. Is Hayden Hurst better than Kyle Pitts? No, he's not. But if you put 2 tight ends on the field together at the same time, it takes away looks from one of them. okay? Doesn't necessarily mean that Hayden Hurst is going to get the plays over Kyle Pitts, but it will certainly take some looks away from Kyle Pitts. So I don't want to see him land there. I don't want to see him land in Miami. They already have Mike Gesicki, so you know that they would have to run 2 tight end sets there. They absolutely would have to. You're not going to play him out wide because you've got Will Fuller and you've you've got Will Fuller and you've got Devontae Parker. So playing him outside there doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. If you look at the teams in the top, the team that makes the most sense for Kyle Pitts to come in and make an impact right away is the Los Angeles Chargers. I want to see that deal happen. I want to see Kyle Pitts come into the league and dominate right away. I'm hesitant on it right now because I don't know where he's going to land. If he lands here, though, absolutely, I think this is a great position for him. Would love to see it. Now, my Detroit Lions are probably going to find a way to screw up draft day. They always do, right? And I'm telling you right now, we do a live show every single year for the first round. We'll be live right here on YouTube again this year, April 29th. We'll let you know the plans at a later date because we've got some awesome stuff to talk about. But live here on YouTube, if the Detroit Lions draft Kyle Pitts, I will flip my effing S. I'll try not to cuss right now. I'm going to save it because I'm probably going to cuss a ton if they make that deal. Okay, but here's the thing with the Lions. The Lions have needs all over the place, okay? You need wide receivers. You need another cornerback. You need somebody to cause pressure, so you need another edge guy. You need a linebacker. You need a better offensive line. You need a quarterback for the future. It's not Jared Goff, okay? You need all of these things. So for the Lions, they really missed out on a great opportunity last year. Where they were picking last year, they had potential to move back, but just nothing came to fruition. If they were at the number 3 pick this year, my Lord, it would have been ripe for the taking. But it wasn't last year, so they missed out on that. And now they're sitting at 7. Good draft position, right? But there's not a whole lot of teams that are moving there for right now. That's why part of this QB slide would be great for Detroit. If there is a team like Chicago, if there is a team like anybody else, really, behind them that needs a quarterback, New England, all right? These guys that I already talked about, Denver, any of these teams behind Detroit, let's say Mac Jones does end up going at number 3. At number 4, Atlanta, let's say they do go with Kyle Pitts. At number 5, Penny Sewell ends up going there. Now all of a sudden you're sitting at 6 with Miami. They're not taking a quarterback. And now Detroit is sitting in a prime position where all of a sudden teams can start calling them and saying, hey, we have to move up. What do you want? That would be the perfect scenario for the Detroit Lions because then you can trade back into the first round a little bit. Then you can bring in some picks, maybe some more picks. You've got 2 first-round picks over the next, each of the next 2 years, 4 total, because you got 2 first-round picks from the Rams. Maybe you get another first-round pick next year. Now you have 3 first-round picks. That's how you got to rebuild the organization. You aren't going to do it with 1 7th-round pick this year. You've got a new coaching staff, a new front office. Let them work some magic. Let them get players in, and let them rebuild this franchise. And that is how you do it right there. The Philadelphia Eagles are missing weapons. They got to have some weapons. I believe that they take a wide receiver with their first-round pick. But you know what? I want to see him come back into the first round with another wide receiver. Draft 2 of them with your first picks for all I care. Do you need a little bit on defense? Yeah. Could you use maybe an upgrade on the offensive line? For sure. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are an Eagles fan, your rope is attached right now to Jalen Hurts, okay? He is going to be the guy to hold up this franchise and to bring this franchise back. They have invested the pick in him, and if they don't give him the weapons, he certainly will fail. That's the bottom line. I'm not a big Jalen Hurts truther, okay? I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think he has some flaws. But Philadelphia, for your sake, I hope he doesn't fail. I want him to succeed because your front office friggin' messed that up, all right? Why you drafted him last year when you still had Carson Wentz was beyond me. But now you've done it, and you need to try and make it work. And the best way that you can make it work with Jalen Hurts is to get him some weapons. You have Dallas Goedert and you have Jalen Reagor, all right? I know the book is still out on Jalen Reagor. There's a lot of you that still aren't huge fans of him. I think he's going to be just fine. But Zach Ertz probably is going to be gone. There's been a lot of talk that he will be traded at some point in time. I don't know when that will happen. Get yourself some weapons. Get some guys on this team that can make plays for Jalen Hurts, so Jalen Hurts has the weapons necessary to take a step forward. Because if you don't give him weapons, he will fail. And if he fails, then you're going to have to draft a quarterback next year. And then now this whole cycle has started over for all of you. All right? He's the guy right now. Give him the weapons to win. Give him the weapons to succeed. Give him the weapons to grow. For the Cleveland Browns, I want to see him trade up for Jaelan Phillips. He's my edge one in this draft. I think he is the guy that overall is the best edge prospect. He can do well in the pass rush. He can do well in the run game. He's got a high motor. He's got high intensity. Cleveland's is going to have anyway, a solid defense again this year. But you saw it at times last year. The offense did a fine job of keeping up with teams, but it's like the other team would have their back against the wall, and then the Browns, they had troubles getting a stop, okay? They don't need to see that this year. Myles Garrett is going to continue to see a lot of double teams. We know that. Get a guy on the other side of Myles Garrett that can make a team pay for double teaming him. Because if Jaelan Phillips comes in and he's in the backfield consistently and he's sacking guys and he's causing havoc, then now you got to stop double teaming Myles Garrett. Now Myles Garrett's got single coverage on the other side. And now at that point, now the front line is just causing everybody to go crazy, and that secondary can work even better for you. Cause as much pressure as possible. The more pressure that you can cause, the better your secondary can work. The more pressure that you can cause, the more times you can get a team off the field. Last year on third down, Cleveland's got to get them off the field. They can do that this year by creating more pressure on the other side of Myles Garrett. And Jaelan Phillips, I think, is the best bet to do that. They probably won't have to trade up too far to make it happen, but there are a couple of teams in front of them that I think could end up taking an edge rusher. Jaelan Phillips is the guy that I would like to see there. I think this makes this defense that much better. Finally, the last trade that I want to see is the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because y'all still need help everywhere as well. You really do. Your defense last year had more holes in it than a block of Swiss cheese, okay? You know that. Everybody knows that. But not only that, your offensive line, which was one of your strengths a couple years ago, is failing you now. So you need another offensive lineman, okay? This offensive line class is very, very deep. It's very top-heavy and very deep. You're going to find a lot of good prospects for the offensive line in this draft. So for Dallas, if there is a team that is willing to come up, I absolutely want to see it. Why? Because I think the Dallas Cowboys could end up not only adding some more draft capital, but they could move back and they could get themselves a cornerback one. I think Surtain could still end up falling to them if they move back. They could still get their hands on Caleb Farley. Yes, the injury is a little bit of concern. Really, for me, though, it's not. It sounds like he's going to be good to go. I talked to our very own Dr. Ethan Turner here. He seems to think that there's not going to be any long-term issues, that he should be good to go for training camp as well. So if you can move back and still get your cornerback one and add draft capital, you absolutely want to see it. And Dallas has a lot of holes to fill. If you can add more 2021 draft capital, then you could potentially take that and spin that to move back up again later in the draft and get yourself a couple of offensive linemen that you can put in. And then now you've taken care of two of your bigger spots, right? Your cornerback position and your offensive line. If you can do that, that is an absolute win for your draft, and I want to see it happen. But there you go, Headliner Nation. Several trades that I want to see happen before the end of the first round of the NFL draft this year. Do me a favor, if you appreciate that content, hit that like button because it means the world to us. We love seeing those likes pop on. And of course, it helps the videos here on YouTube, especially this time of the year when, you know what, things are a little bit on the quieter side, but it's picking back up. And that's what I love to see. And we'll be here to talk to you all of the way. Leave a comment down below. Is there a trade that you want to see? What trade do you want to see prior to the first round or by the end of the first round of the NFL draft? And as always, if you're new here to the Fantasy Headliners, hit that subscribe button. Become a part of Headliner Nation today. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you all stopping in and checking out this video. Hopefully everybody out there is staying safe and staying healthy. And I'll catch you all in the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.